Do you think this concept of a budget, it's a concept for everyone? Honestly speaking, is it something that someone who is right at the bottom now, the uncle with a big and access, not the German car uncle, can that person really have a budget? Your last chapter, you talk about credit scoring or credit score.
Yes.
Something that is very important.
Yes.
I've learned.
Yes.
And I've learned it the hard way also.
To even choose the best premium. But when you look at our schedule, the only time we have time to really browse and watch is 30 minutes, an hour a day. So why are you paying that amount of money for that day?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Realize that there are certain things that brings wounds to us. And sometimes we are not even aware. Like I was literally not aware. I was in varsity. Bloemfontein is very cold. I didn't have warm shoes, sneakers at that time. And I actually wore flip-flops and socks during winter time going to school. And I think in me, there was that drive that if I can just find myself receiving my diploma, I'll get a job, you know. But at the back of my mind, there was a wound that I didn't have money
to buy
shoes that I needed at the time. And when I started working, there was a point where I was buying sneakers like nobody's business. Like I literally remember that I will lay by, and when I take the sneakers out, I lay by another pair of sneakers.
Sure.
And I was not buying cheap sneakers.
Okay.
Like all of them, they were 1.5 and above, and that was years back. And I will do that like it was. And
it was an addiction.
It was. And I was feeling like now that I can afford, I can have them.
Please say something about that, you know. Maybe explain the importance of credit scoring, how it works. I know there's a young person who just got a job and they are excited. They are not worried about the credit score. Yes. And, you know, these banks are calling them, say, do you want us to increase your credit card?
Yeah.
How's Adelaide?
Yes.
How are you checking in?
I'm well and excited to be here.
Yes.
I think you are the first person who will be interviewing me for that book that I wrote.
This one?
Yes.
Money Matters.
Money Matters.
Okay. How has your day been?
I had a good day. It was a little bit busy at work, but it was a fruitful day. I managed to reach the target that I wanted to reach. So it was a good day.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
And at least it's a Friday.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry.
No. There's no work tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's no work tomorrow. So yeah, I call it my restful day, Saturday.
Yeah. No, thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. We really appreciate you coming. It's always exciting for me to have someone who has written a book or someone who's got quite a lot to talk about or to teach. I'm just excited to learn. So my book, I've got a full empty page and a pen that is full. I made sure it's a gel, by the way. I might least start.
You don't have to do this.
No. I make sure. I made sure. But thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate your presence. Tell us a bit about yourself, you know.
So, how much time do you have?
We've got time. It's Friday. Tomorrow we're not working.
Yeah. So, I'm Adelaide Makube. I'm actually a village girl. I grew up in a village called Marapsane.
Okay.
Skilpadfontein. Most people don't know the place.
Yep.
When we talk about it, we will actually tell people it's not far from Hammanskraal, but it's still a drive from Hammanskraal. So it's a village. We are 6 at home. I'm the third daughter.
Okay.
I'm I'm a sister, I'm a mom, a wife, a career woman, a minister. So those are the caps that I wear. But if you can ask who I am, I'm a very kind person, loving,
Okay.
strict. People say I'm strict.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see that side of my I don't see that side that much.
Okay.
Um,
I read your book, so I can agree.
you can.
I agree to that. I'm like, no, this is too much.
Yeah. I'm learning that there can be a gray area.
I'm new in reading, to be quite honest with you. I haven't read a lot of books, but this is one of the few. In fact, I'm trying to think which other South African book I've read.
Sure.
And I can't think of any, you know. But then my reading journey is very short, but I'm loving it. One thing that I loved about this book, contrary to the books that I read, is I felt it's written in a language that it's easy for me to understand. It's written in a language that is very relatable. So I enjoyed it.
Sure.
I consumed it freely and well. I want us to go into the cover, Why Money Matters. Why the name? I mean, why not just something else?
I was actually we were having a conversation with my daughter about it, that the matters, the meta point was actually two-faced. It was like, it's money matters.
Okay.
And it's money matter.
Oh, okay.
But
Yes.
you look at it, the face that will talk to you.
Oh, okay.
The things related to money matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or money matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I got the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So it's both. It's dual.
Both. It's dual.
All right. Okay. Very, very interesting. Let's go into this book. And I asked, we're not gonna read every chapter for everyone to.
Of course, they must buy it.
They must buy the book. They must buy the book.
Yeah.
But I loved, and I requested that today we talk about the first, the third chapter, and the last chapter, chapter 10.
Yes.
So chapter 1, you talk about money and emotions.
Yes.
What's that about?
So I realize that actually there is a big interlink, a relationship between money and emotions.
Yes.
And I will relate it as well based on my faith as well. Because I realize that even in the Word of God, you will see when it addresses the issues of money, there is a lot of emotions around it. There's a story that I love, the story of the woman who took an alabaster oil and put it in the feet of Jesus. And the people who were walking with Jesus for a very long time felt that he didn't deserve to be poured with a perfume worth that lot of money.
Yes.
And they even made a comment to say, I wish we would have sold that and feed the people who are hungry.
Yes.
And I'm like, so this is how we see and we value money. It comes with emotions that sometimes people feel, they felt Jesus didn't deserve to be poured with something that is that expensive. And it a lot of emotions just grew and reasons came. And I will also relate it to, when COVID came.
Yes.
There was a lot of talk, around churches to say, people are going through a lot. You are still demanding that people can give, And I realized, wow, money has got a lot of emotions. And people, when they talk about it, it brings a lot of emotions.
I guess it matters.
Yeah, it matters, And I wanted us to acknowledge that there is a lot of emotions related to that one, and how do we deal with them?
Yes.
Because if we don't address them, we use money to address them, and it's never solved because you can't solve emotions with money. And one of the things that I spoke about in the book, and I think it's very relatable, is my issue of lack when I was in varsity.
Yeah, I actually, that was going to be my next one.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about the leg. I want you to talk about the sneakers.
So what
Please.
happened is I realized that there are certain things that brings wounds to us. And sometimes we are not even aware. Like I was literally not aware. I was in varsity. Bloemfontein is very cold. I didn't have warm shoes, sneakers at that time. And I actually wore flip-flops and socks during winter time going to school. And I think in me, there was that drive that if I can just find myself receiving my diploma, I'll get a job, you know. But at the back of my mind, there was a wound that I didn't have money
to buy
shoes that I needed at the time. And when I started working, there was a point where I was buying sneakers like nobody's business. Like I literally remember that I will lay by, and when I take the sneakers out, I lay by another pair of sneakers.
Sure.
And I was not buying cheap sneakers.
Okay.
Like all of them, they were 1.5 and above, and that was years back. And I will do that like it was, and
it was an addiction.
It was. And I was feeling like now that I can afford, I can have them.
When I have as many of them as
I can. You know. And a question, my husband just posed the question, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you buying sneakers like this? And that took me back. And I had to ask myself, why am I buying sneakers the way I'm buying them? And I realized I was healing my leg of sneakers.
When you were at varsity?
When I was in varsity. Because that time I couldn't afford them. Now I can afford them. Now I'm buying them. Like
and you know, this is so interesting because I think a lot of us buy things that way. We buy things because we simply did not have them. I remember when I was young, one of the things that I wished to have, it's a cake to myself.
Sure.
You know, just this thing of having a slice of a cake. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Can I just, you know, work, have money and buy a cake
Sure.
and eat it, you know, by myself and not share it. You know? Just eat this thing. And I think a lot of us really have got a sneaker issue.
Yeah. It's a sneaker issue. You know, so you have to identify your issue because we all have that.
That is so true.
We all have that.
That is
and,
so
and,
true.
And it's an emotional thing. It's a lack that you experienced. And it registered in your subconscious.
Yeah.
You were not even aware. And the time you have an opportunity, you go for it. And I think for me, I call it an aha moment, that the question that I was asked helped me to recover from that episode.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm thinking how many people are still living in that episode and they don't understand what they are trying to cure.
And at least for you, it was a sneaker.
Yes.
For someone, it's a vehicle.
Yes.
That
5
is
years commitment.
Yeah.
Or 6 or 7. Yeah.
It's a serious, you know, commitment that you now need to feed.
Yeah.
And when you are at the end of it, for some people it's phones.
Yeah.
I think you also talk about phones, you know, renewing contracts and stuff. And that is so common.
Yeah.
It is so common. Yeah. How do you suggest a person can overcome or at least get to understand the root cause? Because I think for you, the aha moment was, oh, okay, somebody asked me this question, let me go back and think, what is it that is causing this?
Yeah.
The next person who's watching these things, this episode, how do they go about reaching an aha moment?
I think that the question I was asked, you can ask it. You can
Okay.
ask yourself, why am I doing this?
Why am I changing cars
Yes.
every 5 years?
Yes.
Why do I need a bigger car?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
do I need?
Yeah. Why do I need to renew my contract every time?
Yeah.
And get the latest phone? Why am I doing it? Because I think sometimes we want to identify ourselves with things.
Yes.
There's a chapter that I talk about it to say you need to know what you are worth before the things that you have.
Yes.
Yeah. Your net worth is not your self-worth. And
Yeah.
if you can be able to identify those two, I think it will help. But ask yourself a question, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And I think it will bring us back to thinking and answering ourselves. Am I trying to fill in the void? Childhood void.
Yeah. Am I trying to? Yeah. I get you. Once I've identified this, it's still not an easy thing to overcome, is it?
It's not. You need to, it's a question as well of saying, do you want to end it, or you feel you are fine with it? I agree. We will tell ourselves, no, now I'm paying myself.
Yeah.
I struggled
I
for so
only live
long.
once.
Yeah, I only live once.
Ah.
Because if you have that mentality, then it means that's the type of life that you want to live.
Yeah.
But if that is not the type of life that you want to live, I will actually advise you to go for coaching. Because when you are being coached, then you can be held accountable to say, someone going back and asking you, where are you at this point? Especially when you have identified your area of challenge, to say, then you can be kept accountable. But you must reach a point where you want to do it. Do you want to stop? Yeah. It's like it's an addiction. And just like any other addiction, you must reach a point where you tell yourself you don't want to do this. And no one from outside can decide that for you.
You will have to decide by yourself.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And I'm just trying to think, because I know a lot of us go through this, especially professionals, especially young professionals. You are a doctor, you are an accountant, you are a lawyer, and then you now getting this paycheck. And in high school, huge. Yes, in high school you were told, when I was in high school, we were told, guys, become engineers. You see those guys at Sasol are engineers. You must see the cars that they're driving, And when you finally become that, you remember what you were told and you want to become exactly that. So it's essentially what I'm trying to say is a lot of our young professionals. I'm not a young professional anymore. But a lot of young professionals battle with this. I mean, we can go into things like credit cards. All of these other things that the banks will come and offer you that you get yourself into when you are young and you're not aware. And I think what you are saying ultimately is the gap.
Yes.
That
and that's why money matters. I'm feeling those gaps that normally, because if we don't deal with the root core of why we are doing the things that we are doing, we will keep doing them. If you are not answering why you think you need the big machine, the German machine, why do you think you need that? Why are you buying it?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them, I can They must be available. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I was saying to someone today, I think we treat people based on how much they have. And that's a reality that we are not ready to accept as a society. That uncle who doesn't have money, when he goes and opens the fridge, all heads turn to say, what are you doing now? Even if he's just going to check if the Danone is not expired, so that the child doesn't get sick. But immediately he touches that Danone, we say, wait a minute, when's Antoni?
But isn't it because we need to change how we think? Because if we can really turn what the uncles are doing and turn it into monetary, they might not have a hard cash available, but their services, if we can turn it into money, what will that be?
But
so
the world,
it's a change of mindset.
I hear you, but I also think the world doesn't work like that.
But who decided that the world must work like that? It's
demand and supply. Demand and supply. So whatever that is scarce is what we prioritize and values. So whatever that is in abundance, we're not going to give it a high value. Even if it doesn't matter, even if you're the guy who dig the most, we're not going to pay you more than the CEO who's got a PhD, because there's a demand for a PhD, but there's an oversupply of people who can, use Beke and for sure.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is, I think I don't think we will change that, because it's not just a narrative of family dynamics. It's a narrative about demand supply that exists in all facets of our society.
It might be that, and I'm not disputing that, Vuyani. However, we need all of them. We can't all be CEOs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need all of them. So I think my point is, let's have a conversation around seeing their value as well.
Yeah.
Imagine if we are all CEOs, what will become of this world?
Then the demand changes.
Yeah.
The demand and supply changes, but it will still remain. So if we all become CEO and we can't use a pick and access, and there's very
so
few...
these ones are gonna value them. It's a demand and
and I just think it's not something that we really gonna get rid of. But I hear also what you're saying to say. We need to also value the the supply.
Yes.
It's very difficult because there's too much of it. But then you talk a lot also. I know I had said I want us to touch on chapter 1 and chapter 3. Before I go to the next thing, you say, one of the things I have realized is that both financial stress and success have an impact on our emotional well-being. Many people think that money, having more of it, or using it as in a certain way, can solve their emotional challenges. So essentially, we are not solving our emotional challenges through money.
You need to work on the emotions. We need to work on the emotions, because you can have a lot of it. And amazingly, people from outside envy you and they wish they can be you.
Yeah.
But you are not as happy as we think you are, because you've got emotional issues. People will say, yeah, you are talking like that. Let me just cry in my Lamborghini and let's see if it won't be different. But emotions are emotions.
Yeah.
They need to be dealt with. And having more of finances doesn't solve what you are going through emotionally. You are still a broken person who has money. And the expression of how you use money will tell us how broken you are.
Yeah.
It will tell us. And we see that a lot, even with episode like I Blew It. You know what? Why will people go to that extent of using money the way they are using it? There is an emotional issue that is there, and we are not recognizing it.
We have not dealt with it.
Yeah, and we have not dealt with it.
So it starts with an aha moment.
Yes.
That aha moment.
Yes.
Okay. I want to go on to something that you talk about on this book, and that is a budget.
Yeah.
I don't want to really go into that, but something that sort of interested me. You say one principle that has helped me is the 50-10-10-30 rule.
Yes.
50% of my income goes towards living expenses.
Yes.
10% towards giving to my local church. Another 10% for generous giving, and 30% for savings and investment.
Yes.
You know what was my immediate question?
Yes.
What about entertainment? Are we not having fun?
I mean, we interpret fun differently.
Okay.
And that living, for me, it includes that. It includes that. To say, are we not? We can't be living, and all we do is just to pay in expenses and investing.
Yeah.
So my 50% will accommodate. And you know, the amazing part, that formula, I actually learned it from the Jewish community.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned that formula from the Jewish community, and I was like, that's why these people have got a lot of money, you know, and maybe other things as well. But and in the book, I also mentioned that it might not be realistic for all of us, but I think if we can strive to reach a life where we are living like that, that would be great.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. Do you think budgeting is for everyone, or do you think it's for the middle class? Or let me put it this way. About 60% of South Africans are earning between, not South Africans that are employed.
Yes.
Are earning between 3.5 and 8,000 rands. I mean, how do you really ask that person to have a budget? You know, I looked at your 50-10-10-30, and I thought to myself, if I was earning 6,000 rands, you know, how do I even begin to save? Because essentially all of that goes towards the expenses that I need to spend money on to survive. So my question to you, do you think this concept of a budget, it's a concept for everyone? Honestly speaking, is it something that someone who is right at the bottom now, the uncle with a big and access, not the German car uncle, can that person really have a budget?
So it depends how you look at the budget. There is Dave Ramsey that I quote there. He says budgeting is actually telling your money where to go than thinking where it went.
But that's my argument. For those people, they don't decide where the money must go. The money is already predetermined that this money is going to go to transport. This one is going to go to food. This one is going to go to a school fee. That is, if they have to pay school fee, you know. And essentially, because that money, you're forced, circumstances decide for you, you know, the environment, the economy decides for you where the money must go. And you don't really have a choice. You don't really have an option to say, you know, a portion, I'm going to put it there. Because at the end of the month, you really have got nothing. And there's no German car, you know, to show for. There is an RDP, you know, where you live in. And yeah. And you haven't paid your electricity.
Yeah.
You know, you've connected that other cable that you don't want to talk about.
So it's a matter of, and I'm mentioning it as well in the book to say, it's also a point of being true to where you are, but aspiring to have a better life. It's amazing that even that those people that you think their money is already predetermined, but they still have other expenses that they can cut, like the amount of alcohol that they are taking in.
Is it not them drowning themselves just so that they don't
So
get
those
to
are
think
the
about?
those are the emotions that you need to deal with.
Okay.
You can solve them with alcohol. You can solve them with whatever that you think you want to use to solve the emotions. It's accepting that I am here at the moment. And I know with the economy, it's very hard to even say, when will it become better?
Yeah.
But can we live with what we have and make the best of what we have? Sometimes it's also where we decide to stay.
Okay.
Can I decide to stay in a place where what I have can make me live comfortably, if I can use the word, even if it's not,
But that is why I'm saying, and I asked myself this question as I was reading your book, to say, if you don't have money, you don't really have a lot of decisions, because these decisions are predetermined. You don't really have a choice, because you are working with the bare minimum. You're working with the last choice that is there. You don't have a choice you have to use a train. You can't even use a bus, because the ticket for a bus is more expensive than that of a train. And essentially, a lot of these decisions that we are talking about here are very difficult to make. If you think about someone who's earning 5,000 rands, realistically, how much does food cost? Let's say this is a breadwinner in a family of 5, and there's food to buy, there's rent to pay, on this. And there's just the dynamics, and the situation doesn't allow for you to have, a sit down and say, I can choose to eat this and not that. You are already at the last choice. You are eating the the bare minimum.
Yeah. But Vuyani, it's amazing that even with the bare minimum that we have, if we don't plan for it, and I know you will say, how do you plan? You can decide the packages that you buy to say, okay, this is what we have. It means I can buy 12 kg of this, 12 kg, 10 kg of that, and that will pull us for. I don't come from a family that was well off. But however, with the bare minimum, and I know the economy was not where it is now, but even with the bare minimum that they had, they prioritized certain things. We never slept hungry. And it was the things that they decide to buy. 50 kg of maize meal, you will do all the things that you need to do with it, but I think it's also, what do we decide to buy with what we have?
Okay. Hey.
It's hard.
It's a difficult one.
It's hard.
It's a difficult one, because for me, I think a choice is something that
only money gives you choices.
I think the more money you have, the better the choices, or the more you can make choices. Yeah. If you really don't have it, you are between a rock and a hard place, to be quite honest with you. One thing that's interesting about this particular topic is, with me, I don't do a budget. And I thought about this when I was reading your book, to say, hey, so now I need to start doing this Excel budget thing. But here's what I used to do, and I don't think when I was employed, what really discouraged me about doing a budget is I had also gotten into a lot of debt, with like everyone else, and every time I would do this budget, I would realize that essentially my expenses are way much more than my my income. And I cannot resolve them now. You go and do this budget and it says your earnings are 33,000, but you need 44,000. And when you look at what you can cut, a lot of these things you can work, them out over a 5-year period, but it's not gonna be soon. So I would then simply bury my head in the sand and cross my fingers and hope for the best, hope for a promotion.
And I think most of people are doing that. We look at finances and we live hoping. You are stressed because you feel you need a promotion. And if promotion doesn't come, it's like a dead end because it feels like this is the only way out, And I call a budget a mirror.
Okay.
Because it's like, this is your reality. What you are doing now, it's not reality. So when you start doing it, then you look, it's like looking yourself in a mirror. Or your finances, mirroring, your finances.
Yes.
And if we can look at it that way, it also comes with solutions to say, if I'm here, let's say promotion won't come, then what is a way out? And because we don't want to face that reality, like you are saying, we bury ourselves under the sand and hoping that something will happen. And that's what stresses us the most. We are not even happy at work because we are like, why am I waking? But it's the decisions that we made that brought us where we are.
So what do you think someone who is, let me not say a lawyer this time, let me pick another profession before they come for me. Let me say someone who's, a professional and they are in that situation, they've done a budget or they are going to do a budget and they're going to find that they need another 7,000, 8,000, that they don't have. And they've been calling the bank every month to say, can we reverse my bond for this month? And then next month, can we reverse the car payment, What would you say they must do? Because they're going to face that reality. They're going to finally look themselves on the mirror and see who they truly are.
Yes. So when your budget is not tallying, like your income is less than your expenses, 2 questions that you can ask yourself. Are you capable of raising another source of income to cover the 7,000 that is deficit?
Yes.
If the question is no, if the answer is no, you can't do that, then it means you need people like us to sit with you and help you to come out of the situation that you are in. And one thing that many people don't want to do is to downgrade.
Yeah.
And that's, if you are there, that's an option. And actually, it's a way out. Downgrade and start from scratch.
Yes.
At least you'll be happy. You won't have, your heart pumping faster towards month end, but you will be, you'll be at peace because you see a way out. You are not living in this lie that maybe you are plotted, but you know deep down that this is a lie. So downgrading is a way out. We will look at your finances, we scrutinize them, what can you cut? And there are certain things that we think we need them. And until we draft a budget and look at where our money is going, some of those things we don't need them. We can be without them for a certain period of time. I don't want to make examples now. People will be like, I'm taking businesses from them. But some of the things that we subscribe to have, if you can ask yourself, when do you get time to watch this thing?
Yeah.
We don't have time to watch those things, but yet we are paying monthly, installment on them.
Yeah.
And sometimes we even choose the best premium, but when you look at our schedule, the only time we have time to really browse and watch is 30 minutes, an hour a day. So why are you paying that amount of money for that thing?
Eish. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We are going to close, but before that, your last chapter, you talk about credit scoring or credit score.
Yes.
Something that is very important.
Yes.
I've learned.
Yes.
And I've learned it the hard way also.
I think many people, we have learned it
we learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
Please say something about that, maybe explain the importance of credit scoring, how it works. I know there's a young person who just got a job and they are excited. They are not worried about the credit score.
Yes.
And, these banks are calling them, say, do you want us to increase your credit card?
Yeah.
Do you want us to...
Must we upgrade your bank? You get a black card.
Yes, a private bank card. And everyone is just calling you with these, seemingly lucrative offers.
Yeah. And I must say, you feel very important because we have all been there. You feel like, I must be very important, like everyone is calling me and they are offering me things. So normally when I talk about credit score, I say it's a system that is there. And we need to learn how it works so that it works for us than against us.
Yes.
So what happens is you need to have a credit record so that you can be able to be trusted with bigger things. And when I say bigger things, I will talk things investment related things. So every one of us will have at one point in our lives to open an account so that we build a credit record. Because if you haven't worked and you don't have any account, you don't have any credit record. And in the book, I also mentioned that you need to be careful not to fall into I'm building a credit record and take everything that comes your way.
Yeah.
You need to be strategic about it. To say, yes, you are building a credit record because that's what you need. When you go to the bank and say you want to purchase a house, they want to see how faithful have you been with paying the people that you owe. And it's amazing. This is one thing that puzzles me, that even if you can save money and have $1 million in the bank, it says nothing. All they need to know.
Yes.
That for me has always been like, but why? Because I'm actually showing that I'm good with finances. Look at what I have saved, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't
work like that.
Yeah.
I think we had the same struggle with my wife.
Yes.
Because in one of our companies, she's the director. And she's been battling to get credit with banks because she does not have
credit record.
Yeah, a credit record essentially. And it's not bad. I guess it's bad. Yeah. But not bad because she's created a lot of debt. Bad because she doesn't have.
Yes. So that's one other thing that I'm like, but why can't we be? But yeah, a topic for another day anyway. So we need that. And as much as we need it, we need to be wise about it. We need to choose the credit that we are taking. When I speak with people in a coaching session to say, how can you build your credit score? I ask them first, how disciplined are you? If you are a disciplined person, a credit card is a way to go. Or have one that you can use because it builds your credit score faster.
Faster, yes.
But you need to be disciplined. Never think that money is yours, and use it as if it's yours. So I will normally say, use it, buy grocery. The money that you were going to buy grocery with, pay it back.
Paid on the credit
card. So you use it as if it's your normal bank account. Bank card. So I will emphasize the fact that you need discipline, because You can feel like I need a holiday in Cape Town. You don't have that money to go to Cape Town. But credit card tells you you've got money to go to Cape Town.
That's me after I got married.
You know? So you need that. So if you don't have a discipline, don't go the credit card route because you're gonna bury yourself into things that you don't need. Then go the slow way, of having a normal shopping, clothing account, and build your credit score that way. It's gonna be slower, but at least you are helping yourself. So that's what you need. But you don't have to have 5 of them, 6 of them, to say now that I'm building my credit score. You have, a card with every store. Choose 2 of them. The most important thing is for you to pay it on time. If they say before the first, make sure it's before the first. Because any day after the first, it's a late payment. And a late payment, it's bad for you. It's a bad record when you are building a credit score.
The tricky thing with credit cards is they've got these 55 days.
Yes.
And I never know, I would never know when is the 55-day ending, but then I guess it's a story for another day.
Yes.
I'm just mentioning it because you're talking about the first that it's easier to track an account, a clothing account, than to track a credit card because now it works on a different time frame.
Yeah. And also remember their interest, it's very high. So those are other things that we need to look into when we are saying
interest for
like your credit card.
As opposed to
yes.
We don't even look at that. This thing of interest, Rona. We will pay.
No, I can afford. But it's about 1,000. So yes, so it's those things. I mean, even when you are, maybe just to divert a little bit, it's amazing when I was starting to talk about finances. I actually did an exercise where I went to the bank to ask for a personal loan, because I wanted to see, because I see a lot of people do that in January to go and get personal loans, and I wanted to see how much are they really paying.
Okay.
And the interest, I got a shock of my life. My credit score was very good. And I think what they told me, the minimum interest that they can give me was 20-something%.
What?
Yes. And that's the banker was very excited. Look, you are getting the lowest interest rate. I mean, And I was asking her, Kanting, how much are people paying on this thing? And it's a lot. And people don't look into that. All they are excited about is, I'm getting the money.
Yeah.
But how much you are paying for getting that money, they never look at it. So that's it. It is important, and you need to build it, because if you don't have it, credit score, you won't be able to purchase anything. And maybe to add on that, Vuyani, I mean, most of the time, and I'm mentioning it in the book as well, my husband was the one who was taking care of those things.
I remember, yes.
Yes, and I thought my credit score was good because, I mean, we are married and we are paying all these things, only to discover his is good because he's been taking
credit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have not been doing that.
Yeah. That's the same case with me and my wife.
So I always advise couples to say, do that for both of you because it helps. That both of you, your credit record is good. Yeah.
Okay. Now that's very interesting. I think it's one of the things that you mentioned, which I think it's very important, is to say subscribe with one of the what do you call them? But TransUnion and Experian.
Yes, Experian.
Try and register with one where you can regularly check your score, because once you can see it.
Yeah. then you know.
Yes,
Yeah,
and read the report. I think that's what helped me also, reading the report and understanding, oh, okay, so this is the red, because I missed that payment.
Yes.
And there,
Yes.
and then you can start then, paying your debts better.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I think I find that very important, and it's something that we really take for granted.
Yes.
How's Adelaide? What have we missed in this conversation that you think you want us to cover as we wrap up?
I think we spoke nicely about my book, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
And maybe just to give your viewers a teaser to start calling me and asking for the book.
Yes.
It's also maybe, and you mentioned it in passing, is the issue of being able to manage the expectations. I think that is important because it directs where it directs our finances. Our expectation does that. What our expectation, societal expectation, family expectations. To say, yo, ngwana rona just started working, he or she's gonna build a house for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you navigate that if you can't afford to build a house or buy a house? So those expectations, and sometimes they make someone feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And you're not a failure if you are not managing to meet people's expectations. You are not a failure. So if we can manage to navigate that, I think we would have won the biggest battle where finances are concerned. To say, I hear you are expecting this, but at the moment, this is where I am.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make you a failure as a child or as a brother or as a sister. And sometimes just having an open conversation. Because when you start working, people think you have money.
And when you start a business, then people
you even have more money.
People think, now this one, we've got a rich uncle in the family finally. Yeah.
So one other exercise that I did was to make them aware of living in town expenses, because at home we don't pay for rates and services. But when I come here, when I buy a house, it's a rates and services. When you see me living in a house, if it's not paid off, it's the bank's house. So having such conversation, especially when you come from a village, to say, no, this thing is not mine, still owned by the bank. If I don't honor the payments, they're gonna take it from me. So my money is going there. And sometimes when you have such conversations, and it's not I'm earning this much is going there, this much is, but it's just painting a picture for the family to say, this is where I am, these are my commitments, and that's why I'm unable to do what you are expecting me to do. And sometimes it's not even I'm not able, it's based on where I want to go, because it's planning. I've planned my finances.
As you are saying that, I feel like you are saying to someone, give up Bukhrot man. It's such a you've got the status. But no, I think it's true. We definitely need to make sure that people understand they understand where we are.
Yes.
Even if there's a big car, it doesn't mean there's big money.
Yes.
Because the money is going now to the big car.
Yeah.
So no, I appreciate that. How's Adelaide? Where do people find your book? Please share the information. Is there any events coming soon where you will be speaking?
So it's actually been a month on the 26th. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a month since I launched the book. So it's still a new baby.
It's
Still a new
just
baby.
over a month.
Just over a month.
Ah.
But however, people are able to reach me on WhatsApp to order because I still sell by myself. I'm still to load it on, ebooks.
Okay.
To do an ebook, but not yet. So they can order from me. I still have hard copies. It's 250 and it doesn't include courier if I need to courier for you.
Okay.
Yeah, if I need to courier, then you pay your courier costs. And they can reach me on 083 405 0890.
Okay, please repeat the number.
083 405 0890.
I'm behaving like we are on radio. Crystal will put it up on Crystal will put it up on the screen for people to see. But thank you very much. It was really good having you. I hope you become a friend of this podcast. So next time when we want to talk about another topic in the book, hopefully we can invite you to come and share on that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, Vuyani. This was very nice. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. Okay.